thank you, everybody, and thanks, Cohan, and also those who shared. Let's see, I gotta make sure I go in the right direction here. One thing that I wanted to hit, okay. As we close, so again, we talked about products, right? We talked about the comp plan. Cohan showed you some pretty cool numbers. And those are averages from last year. Those aren't like averages forever or the highest year. Those are averages from last year for every title that he showed. Those are all the actual averages from 2018. So those are all real numbers, and we're excited about that. Those are good numbers. And again, all we're doing is sharing. Okay. Now, I love this. Love this picture. Because like Cohan said, here's our first 20 people who earned at least $1 million, right? With just commissions from Xyngular. Now there's 14 more now. There's 34 total people. But as I closed, I wanted to hit two stories really fast. Our very first person to earn $1 million from her Xyngular commissions is named Lacey Friend. Her husband's a school teacher. She's a stay-at-home mom. And she used to make cookies and cupcakes and brownies and sell them to try and earn money for her kids for sports camps and to go on vacation. Okay? Now she found out about Xyngular, and she's not a great weight loss story. She's tall and skinny, and if she did the Ignite program, and you'd be like, how much weight can you really lose? Let's see, you're skinny, right? Well, she lost, I can remember, 5-6 pounds, but her husband lost weight, and some of her friends lost weight. And she loved the products, and she would talk about the products, but she didn't want to talk about anything else. She was very uncomfortable talking about the opportunity and the passport stuff, even though she's winning all these trips and stuff, because she's from a little small town. There's a lot of farmers, and everybody's pretty poor, and she didn't want to be the person that stuck out. Okay, but I noticed that she really started sponsoring a lot of people all of a sudden, and she's just every month, and she's got a big group now, and she just was sponsoring people, and I finally called her and I said, Lacey, how do you sponsor with a big group and your kids and how involved you are, how do you sponsor this many people every month? And I said, because there was like 15, 20 people a month that she would sign up. And I said, how are you doing it? And she goes, Marc, she said, remember how I used to be embarrassed? And I go, yeah, I remember how you used to be embarrassed. And she goes, well, one day I realized that by me not talking about what I have, I'm actually robbing people of the ability to have what I have. Okay? And she said, so I decided how much would I have to hate somebody not to share what I know. And that little change of thought in her head made her business just boom to the point that she was our very first $1 million earner. Okay? How much would I have to hate somebody not to tell them what I have? Right? Because she knew that she could help people. Right? Now, so I think she's up to 3 million now. I can't remember. But Kala and Robin are at 5 million in total earnings. Freddie's at 3. Cynthia's at 2 or 3. I can't remember. Jennifer, I think, is at 3, maybe 2. But these are all people who, that's how much they've made with Xyngular. And the thing I love about this is most of them have never done anything like this before. How did they start? They were at a meeting like this. Their interest was piqued. They tried the products. All the same story, right? Nobody got in saying, I'm going to earn $1 million. It was, try the products, right? And then what did they do? They shared. Because how much would you have to hate somebody not to share, right? Now, the other story that I wanted to close with was Jana Bullard, the lady that was in the videos. She was in the 2 videos. And she said a couple of interesting things, but I know a little bit more of the story. So she was a banker, right? And she was actually a VP, or anyway, VP something over several branches, right? She said this lady, Melissa, who she'd worked with, came to talk to her. Well, Melissa was over one part of one of the banks. And Melissa was a lot younger than Jana. And actually, when Melissa came in with one of her friends named Crystal, they came in to talk to Jana, and Jana listened to them, but was like, you know what, thank you, but I'm really busy, and why don't you guys go? And she goes, literally, I almost kicked him out of my office, right? She wasn't interested. But she did decide I want to lose weight, so she tried the products, okay? Now, a little while after she started sharing, she called me, and she goes, Marc, I'm Jana, VP, blah, 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 at this bank, right? And And she said, now, Melissa, who used to work for me, but had now quit the bank and was doing this full time, she goes, can you really make that much money? And I said, well, yeah, Jana. Melissa is, and Crystal, her friend that came in. And Jana was just like, okay. But to her, they were just young girls, right? I mean, they're in their 20s, but still, to this 40-something-year-old lady, these are young girls. And she's like, so they're making that much money. And she just thought about it for a while. She just was like, if they can I? And she called me back again a couple weeks later, and she goes, how much can you make with this? And I said, well, how much do you want to make? And she's like, well, I don't know, could I quit my job? Well, yeah, you can quit your job, that's easy. And she goes, well, what can I make? And I said, Jana, and I didn't know at the time that her background. I didn't know that she was raised in a trailer park, and I didn't know that her family was very, very poor, and that she worked really hard to get where she was. All I knew was she was VP of this bank, right? And I said, Jana, do you have a ceiling on how much you can make at the bank? And she goes, well, yeah. I'm like, okay. Does your boss have a ceiling on how much he can make? She says, yeah. I said, well, here there's no ceiling. Nobody's telling you this is all you can make.